Alrighty, hey guys, my name is Joel and welcome to my channel. I'm an artist, I specialize in acrylic, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to paint this dog and cat. It's a 2-for-1 deal. Usually it's like just a dog or just a cat, but these two are together. So I'm going to show you how to paint both. Let's dive in. So I'm going to quickly run you through my setup. I've got these peelable palettes, it's easy paint cleanup. I've got my easel, a light up here, and I've got my iPad ready to do its work. So the iPad is where I hold my reference image, and this is already prepped and ready to go. For the sake of this video, I've used a projector just to get it done. This is a commission, so I like to do those fairly quickly. And yeah, let's dive in. I'll put you guys on time lapse. Alrighty, so diving straight in, I'm just getting my paints out, getting them onto the palette, and it doesn't really matter where you purchase your paints from. I do suggest getting a more expensive white as they're generally more opaque, which is what you want for a decent white. But other than that, go for gold. And here you can see I'm just blocking in the background colors first. I've mixed it with a bit of water so it's still see-through. I'm really just after layer 1 of color here, and then we'll slowly build it up with acrylics because they dry so fast. I like to work in layers, similar to how you would do pastels or watercolor even. I like to build it up that way. And jumping back into the time lapse, I'm doing the wall color there, getting it nice and even. Don't mind the YouTube in the corner. Gotta have some entertainment while I paint. And then straight into the carpet. This is layer 2 of the carpet, and you'll see I'll start adding in some of those textures, some of those shapes, and some of those different lights and dark colors to make it look more realistic. You don't want to get too caught up in the detail of the background of your piece as it is not the focus, but you do want just enough detail that gives a suggestion. Now, I'm not very good at drawing straight lines, so I've got some masking tape here. You can put it on and peel it off fairly easily, and I'm using that just to do the doweling on the wall in the background. I also use this for horizon lines or anything, basically anything with a straight line, as I do not have that straight line talent. And what I'm doing here, if you look really close, you can see the color actually changing. What I've done is I've mixed a burnt sienna with water, and it's called a wash. So this is a major trick in acrylic painting. You use a lighter color and then you go over the top with a see-through layer, and you can change the color and it gives it that realistic shadowy look that you're after. Okay, so for now, I'm pretty happy with the background. I think we've got a basic base layer, we've got the detail, and I can add shadowing and everything later. So next step is I'm gonna work from back to front. So I'm gonna start, because the dog here is in front of the cat, I'm gonna do the cat first and then do the dog. So let's dive in. I'll bring you nice and close and you can have a good look at what I'm doing. Back to the time lapse. Alrighty, so again we're doing a wash first. It's definitely a trust the process sort of situation. You can see I'm adding in a few colors, but you can still see that dark brown behind. And that brown is going to be my shadow. For this particular cat, it does have a few stripes. So you can see I'm leaving a bit of that dark brown showing through, and that will do some good striping for me later on. But yeah, just blocking in the lights and shadows of this cat, and then slowly working in a few more colors. I've mixed up a bit of that yellowy orange, and then I'm working on building light layers that slowly bring the cat's face out of the background. I do apologize, there's a few clips of this where my hand's just the only thing you can see. It is a small canvas, so it was hard to get that camera angle right, but I hope you can bear with me as we push through this. So here I'm coming in with a washed down titanium white to build up that bright layer, which I'll then wash over later with a bit of yellow ochre. It helps to have a white layer underneath your yellows and oranges as they're quite transparent, and you can't quite get the detail with a transparent color that you may be after. So I generally lay down a white layer and then I'll come back over it later with the yellows and oranges. You'll see that in a moment. So here's that yellow wash I was talking about. As you can see, it covers the white. You don't want that really bright white. I mean, maybe you do, it's up to you, it's your painting. But I just prefer to have that white washed out a little bit. And soon it's on to the final details of the cat here. I'm just going to add the highlight of the eye and really bring it to life. This is a watered down titanium white, so it will dry slightly duller than this. And yeah, onto the dog we go. Alrighty, well, as you can see, Cat's pretty much there now. He needs his whiskers and all that, but let's dive into Mr. Dog. So again, I'm just working from the back to the front here, background to foreground, that's how I roll. And as you can see, I'm using a few of the same tones that we have in the dark areas of the cat, just to make a nice balanced painting. So you can see here I'm starting to layer in some white fur. This dog has a really bright white fur on his back, and that's pretty cool. So I'm using my brushes there to layer it up. And now I'm getting into the tones of the face of this dog. He has a brown head, as you can see in the little reference in the corner. It is quite tricky sometimes to build up the white over the dark brown that I've added, so you'll see I add quite a few layers here, but I'm really happy with the overall result. I think it's come out with quite a natural looking color in the end. Everybody's got their own painting process. I've recently found that sometimes less is more with the detail. I don't want a super sharp image, so I just do the colors first, and then I come back in and do a few little furs here and there, just to give it enough realism, but not so much that it's too sharp of an image. When you look at a dog in nature, you generally see the color and that it's furry, but you don't see each individual fur. So that's the look I'm going for here, is color over detail, and then I'll add a few little details in later. And then we're going to jump into the eyes in just a moment here. There you go, adding the pupils and the little dark bits around the eyes gives it a nice focal point when you add that really dark color. And then I'm adding in more highlights again. I wasn't quite happy with how bright he was. He seemed a little dark, so I'm adding the white and then that yellow wash again. I just love it. It's like magic. And we're coming to the end of the painting now, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and watch me put the final highlights in the dog's eyes here, and we'll hope that the customer's happy with this one. I think it was really special to paint. So let's plop on the signature and get ready for the final reveal. And so with that, this painting is complete. I'm super happy with it. I hope you guys have really enjoyed watching me paint. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. I can't wait to share the next one. I'm going to try and do weekly videos from now on, so you can expect more like this. So let me know in the comments what you want to see next, and thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.